The day has come to finally replace my winch line. If you've been watching any of my videos, you've seen this winch line has been put through the ringer and back, and she's worn out, she's old, she's frayed. It's definitely time. It is overdue. So we're gonna replace it. I'm gonna show you guys, you know, quick tutorial on how to replace a winch line. It's super easy. Now that I say it's super easy, it's probably gonna fight me the whole time, but you know, it should be easy. Just basically spool out all the winch line, disconnect the little terminal with the Allen key, plug in the new one, wind it back up, make sure it's nice and tight, and that should be it. And then tonight, I'm gonna take you guys with me to a little Jeep meet that we do every now and then on a Tuesday. It's called Red Tiki Bar and Grill in St. Pete. So this is kind of a random video. This is no recoveries in this video, but I figure why not shoot it and do something I don't usually do. But I was a bit disappointed, right? So you know, Rhino told me after I took my event to Jeep Beach, and one of the owners at Rhino saw my winch rope, and he's like, "Man, we need to get you a green rope on that thing." And I was like, "Heck yeah, let's get a green one, match everything else." So I ordered a green one off of Amazon. This is what I ordered, and this is what I got. That is not Rhino green. That is mint green, and I do not care for that. I forget the brand on it. It said it had a high brake strength of about 24,000 pounds and it's 100 foot long. But I do not like that. But also, look what we got. The green winch hook. So this is a little bit closer. Still not quite the same, but it'll look good. On the Jeep, we got a little stopper. You know, this is just cheap Amazon stuff. Forget the brand on this one, Ambull. So, fairly cheap stuff. I'm not a fancy guy out here. There's no reason for me to go buy a $200 winch hook or, you know, a $150 winch line. I mean, that stuff you're paying for the name on it. I feel I'm out here actually using it, abusing it, doing recoveries, and not once have I ever thought to myself, man, I really need a $200 winch hook on my rig. That's not me. All right, let's disconnect it. I don't know if I can do this one-handed. Probably not. Well, I don't even know if I can do it two-handed. I'm gonna free spool it. Well, I guess so. All right. Well, let's suck out this line. You guys want to see something? Look at this. That's one problem with the GoPro. I don't like to zoom in at all, and it's hard to like focus on it. I don't know if you can see, but she's looking pretty rough in some spots. So get this out, slap a new one on it. All right, well, we spooled it all out. We found the end of the line, and all there is in here is just a little terminal, little Allen key terminal. So at this time, a lot of people will sandpaper this, drum down a little bit. You're not supposed to use a roller Fairlead with synthetic, but you know, this thing has been on here for a year. I had to switch out to synthetic in the middle of the field in a hot, muddy mess, and I didn't have the option to change out my Fairlead. During that recovery, very first time I used it, it chewed up my winch line. That's why they say don't use roller Fairleads with synthetic lines, because they will chew it up a bit faster. Realistically though, the snatch block, when dealing with the sand and mud and all that stuff, it'll chew it up pretty fast as well. So it's not a huge deal. It's not like you can't use it. I mean, you guys have seen 100 videos from me using this setup, and it's worked perfectly fine each time. It just does chew up the winch line just a little bit. So but typically what you do if you have to use this style is sand down your rollers, make them. But mine is shot, dude. Mine is old. This thing, like, it barely turns anymore, and I've greased it quite a few times, but supposed to turn. She is locked up. So but I'm gonna sand down the drum a little bit, just make sure it's nice and smooth. disconnect this, and then we'll install our new one. And then I do have a new aluminum or a billet Fairlead, so I'm gonna switch out from the roller style finally. Alright, makes it a little bit easier since I'm gonna replace the Fairlead anyways. I'm gonna go ahead and pop that off before I start trying to mess with the winch line. So there's just 2 bolts in the back, one right there, and then we got one right here. So I'm gonna put a crescent wrench on the back side and use my little 3/4 inch on the front. Let's pop this guy off real quick. Well, we found some hidden damage. Look how bent out that plate is. I don't know if you can see it right here, but she is warped pretty good. Can never tell with the Fairlead on it. This was just kind of sucked up underneath it, but that is pretty bent. So I'm gonna try and straighten it out, and it's getting a little bit of surface rust on there. Paint's powder coat's coming off, or paint, or whatever it was. But yeah, so we're gonna try and repair this real quick. Again, I'll take my crescent wrench, adjustable wrench, hammer, whatever you want to call it, and see if we can straighten that back out a little bit. All right, well, we got to straighten back out 80%. It's still definitely pretty messed up, and I will have to replace this, but for the meantime, we're loading the Jeep up tomorrow. We're headed to Jeep Jam in Panama City, Florida. I don't have time to get another plate, and more than likely, I'm probably going to run this for 6 months or so before I replace it. That seems to be the pattern over here. I know it needs to be replaced, but we're still going to send it anyway. So, but at least for the meantime, I am trying to sand down any of the edges on it and make sure that none of this stuff is sharp. I'm going to repaint it real quick, retexture it with the bed liner paint. Pretty much my whole bumper, my inner fenders, all that stuff, I just use bed liner paint every 4 to 6 months, touch it up. But when I was bending it back out, I did cause a little bit of a nick in it right here, so that is a bit concerning, so we don't want the rope touching that. So I'm trying to just get extra paper on that, smooth it down, and make sure there's nothing sharp on it. So I think we've got it good for the most part. And now let's sand this drum down, get all that sticky crap off of it from the old rope, and then we'll reinstall the new rope. All right, we have the drum. It's pretty smooth, not nearly as bad as it was. And then I don't know if you guys can see if the camera is going to pick it up, but up inside of here you can tell where the winch line is rubbed a few times. And I noticed that this edge is a little sharper than what I would like it to be. So I'm going to take a second and just sand down this. And then that way, even though I'm always pretty cautious about my winch line building up and rubbing, it still happens. So I'm just going to shave down this outer edge just a little bit, just as a preventative. The inside is actually a lot smoother than I thought it would be, but you can still see a lot of scratches and gouges up in here. So, but yeah, quickly buff down this edge real quick. That way it's not as sharp. Then we're ready to install my new line. Well, I got the Fairlead installed, and it actually, when I was cinching it down, it pretty much straightened it up for the most part. I think we're about 90% straight now. In my book, we're good to run this for a year. So eventually I'll replace the whole plate, but we're solid. No issues with it. Fairlead comes down below the metal plate. I sanded all that stuff down, smoothed it out, sanded the drum down, so sanded my lip down. Now it's time to actually install the winch line. All right, so as you can see, this is the terminal ending, just a little Allen bolt on here. We're gonna pop that through, and then the hole is right here. I don't know if you can see it on camera. I can't see anything on the GoPro, so we're gonna hope for the best here, but super simple, guys. Just pop that in there and then screw it on. All right, we are screwed in. I just used one of these little cheap ratchets with Allen key attachment. One note is make sure that your terminal is pointed outwards, because the winch, you know, it does your bottom. How do I want to explain this? So your winch line needs to be on the bottom. It's not on the top. I don't know if you've ever looked at a winch and the direction it spools in, but it spools in from the bottom. So when you go to spool it in, you need to make sure. Oh, let me get engaged real quick. These things always get freaking stuck. See, I think I talked about this in my other video, that it won't engage. So you gotta, like, usually that's not a big deal because there's a line on the drum. Ah! All right, Maybe I'll bump it a little bit more. See if that'll find, there we go. Now she'll engage. So when you pull it in, that's how it should be on there. So winch line on the bottom, not on the top. Then now we get to spool in 100 feet of this crap. So, yep, that'll be fun. Ooh, we may have a problem here, guys. I think my winch is messed up. Watch this. See what it's doing here. It's jumping and skipping around. The whole drum is moving. Well, that's no good. You know, she has some use on her, but in reality, this winch is barely a year old. I mean, granted, it probably has 100 pulls on it, but that drum jumping around side to side, that is no good. And I thought I heard a sound on my last pull, on my last recovery I did. So I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, that's no good. But you know what? We got some news coming. I don't want to, you know, count my eggs before they hatch, but I had Mile Marker reach out to me last month regarding doing giveaways and a sponsorship. So hopefully that deal works out, because it looks like I'll be needing a new winch sooner than later. And they have a brand new 12,000 pound synthetic Mile Marker winch, and I saw it at the Daytona Beach, and it's pretty sweet looking. So hopefully they'll hook me up with one of those, and we'll switch over to Mile Marker. But until then, I'm gonna keep running it. You know, I'll get my money's worth out of this thing. All right, so we're gonna spool this thing in back now. Spool it back in now. Generally, you want tension on this. Like, you know, ideally you would like set up your end of your winch line on another vehicle and use your vehicle's weight to winch it in, so that way it's nice and tight. But I'm a pretty big guy, so I'm just gonna hold on to it and give her some tension and let her spool in, and I think we'll be all right with that. Now, if you have a cable line on this, you 100% want to put tension on it, the vehicle's weight. What happens if you don't do that, and then you start to unravel it, the cable will bird's nest on you, and it'll spool up, and you'll have a big hot mess in there. You're not really going to have that problem with synthetic. So me being able to put some tension on it, good amount of tension, probably a couple 100 pounds worth, should be more than enough. All right, well, she's in there. It's probably not as neat and pretty as I could have made it. If I'd have had somebody else running the controller, I could have used both hands, but I don't really care about that stuff, because in a couple days it's going to be all torn out and dirty. So and then I caught myself. I almost went to go hook it up, and then I realized, I was like, oh yeah, I got a winch hook and a little bump stop to put on there. So I'll get that installed real quick. All right, well, there she is, installed, ready to go. But winch line installed, new Fairlead installed, touched up bed liner paint, some stuff, and we're good to go. I am pretty bummed out to realize that my winch is messed up, so you know, that's to be expected. Warrens make solid winches, and I've put this thing through the ringer. You know, probably a year old, over 100 pulls. I would definitely expect it to last longer than it did, but this is the VR series. This isn't the top of the line Xeon series that Warren makes. This is their cheaper entry-level winches. But with that being said, my original Smitty-built 9500 that I had on here lasted 3 times longer with 3 times as many pulls. So that may say a little bit of something about the quality of the VR series. But it's no surprise. If you're into winching and off-roading, you know VRs aren't the good Warrens. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully Mile Marker works with me and gets me a winch to install on this thing, and hope that they give me a winch that I can give away to you guys. Okay, well, we're done with that, so let's go over to St. Pete Beach, go over to the Red Tiki Bar and Grill, and I'll show you guys what I do almost every evening, all the different Jeep meets. This is just one of them. Almost every weekday evening, I go to a different one between Clearwater, Dunedin, St. Pete, and Tampa. So, but tonight will be fun. Well, we made it to St. Pete.
at the Red Tiki. We used to do this every Tuesday and then kind of fizzled off, but I think we're gonna start back up. But it's a pretty cool place. Let's get a bunch of the local Jeepers out here. They got a flex ramp. Look at the size of this thing, it's massive. Pretty cool spot. The Red Tiki Village stage, they have an indoor live band stage inside as well, but every Tuesday. Can't wait till it gets dark. I'll show you guys the new lights on the Jeep in front of these palm trees. They light them up green, so it looks pretty good. And they even got a little obstacle course out here. It's kind of grown over. I'm sure it's been a while since somebody's been through it, but all the different logs, that'll hang you up if you don't know what you're doing. Jeep crossing. Yep. Yeah, cool spot for sure. I don't want to go walk around in the bar with the camera. That would be kind of awkward, but we're gonna wait till the sun sets, get some more video. Sun is going down. We got the Jeeps lined up. She's looking good. Wait for it to get a little bit darker and we'll start playing with the features on this thing. But we got a couple Fairlead light bars out here tonight. Pretty cool spot. Yeah, this is one Jeep meet, one day. This is the smaller one. I'm gonna get a video of the one at the Dunedin Causeway, which is, we'll have 100, 200 Jeeps out there sometimes. Next video, I'll try and throw some of that in there. Start playing with the colors over here. See if the GoPro will focus. Got the rainbows. What's cool? It's actually not cool, but one remote changes all the colors, or all the Jeeps. Green, 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 green. Let's do red. One remote, I can get all of them. And then they flash. We'll do it for a second. There we go. Yep. We'll do them green flash. Turn it off. This one's, there we go. Yep, yep. Got some lights and the rock lights on it. Then my ditch lights. I don't have my ditch lights on yet, but these things are stupid bright. I'll turn them on real quick. See if we don't blind everybody. Then the switch panel in here. Sun. Oh, blinded him. Tristan was right in the kill zone. Yeah, these, I call them ditch lights, but they're ridiculously bright. But I don't trust my battery yet. I'm sure I end up smoking my battery doing this. Don't leave them on too long. Turn them off. Yep, pretty cool. I never really thought I wanted rock lights and all that RGB stuff until I moved to Tampa, and it seems like everybody down here has them. So, and they do have a useful function because I can, you know, turn them to yellow. And then I can do yellow flash for ambers. I don't know why. There we go. And then we'll do flash on. And then flash. So yeah, I mean roadside assistance type of stuff. This is perfect. And then that insert is interchangeable. I can just slide this whole thing out. That's the beauty of an aero lids. So this just slides right out. I'm about to get one that says 4x4 Rescue, get a Rhino USA one. You can customize it, get it to say whatever you want, but we just have the Jeep Jam in there because that's where we're going tomorrow. But yeah, good times. This is what we do on Tuesdays.